All right, so today we're diving into this stack of articles we've got here all about Chappell Roan. She's everywhere right now, kind of blowing up, but she's not your typical, pop star on the rise.
Right, and that's what makes her so interesting, right? You think pop star, and you've got this image in your head, but Chappell Roan really kind of flips the script.
Totally, and one of the things that really struck me reading through these articles is just how real she is, Like, she's not afraid to talk about the tough times, even getting dropped by a label. How many pop stars actually do that?
Exactly, and it's not just like a woe is me kind of thing. She owns those experiences. You get the sense that those struggles are a big part of what makes her music so relatable. Like, there's this quote from the Pinkfilla article. She's talking about her success now, and she says basically, and then it's almost funny to her. She's like, where were all you people before? She's been grinding, making her own way this whole time.
Oh, for sure. It's like the industry's just now catching up to what she's always known.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about waiting for permission or validation from these gatekeepers, right? And I think that resonates with a lot of people, especially younger generations.
Makes you wonder if this is a sign of things to come, Like, maybe this whole manufactured pop star thing is on its way out.
Could be. But even beyond that, I think what makes Chappell Roan so compelling is that she's not just this, industry rebel, There's this whole other layer to her story.
Oh, absolutely. This Wikipedia article, it mentioned she grew up in Willard, Missouri.
Yep.
And not just that, but in a pretty conservative Christian home, which, knowing her music, that's quite the contrast.
Yeah, and it makes you think about how that upbringing, that background might have shaped her worldview, to go from that kind of environment to finding your voice, your community in a place like LA. It's a powerful journey.
It really is. And you can feel that journey in her music, can't you? Like that search for identity, for belonging, something a lot of people can relate to, but it really resonates within the LGBTQ community, which the articles talk about a lot.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because for a lot of artists, those themes might be kind of subtle in the background, but for Chappell Roan, it's front and center.
It's part of her brand, almost, but not in a calculated way. It feels genuine, which I think is so important.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about checking boxes or appealing to a certain demographic. She's writing from a place of personal experience, and that authenticity shines through. Like, take her song, Pink Pony Club, for example.
Oh, yeah, that's a great example.
I mean, it's literally inspired by a gay bar, and it became this anthem. I think it speaks to that need for safe spaces, for community, which is something everyone can relate to, even if you haven't stepped foot in a place like that yourself. It's about finding your people.
Yeah, and feeling seen, right? Like, this is a place where I could be myself, no judgment, which, who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
But it's interesting because for someone who seems so comfortable in her own skin, so self-assured, she almost seems ambivalent about traditional markers of success in the music industry. Like, there's that quote where she basically says, everyone leaves the charts eventually.
Right. But then she goes and lands a #1 hit on the pop airplay chart, which is like a big deal. That usually means a song is getting a ton of radio play, reaching a huge audience.
Right, and it's not just any song. It's Good Luck, Babe. Which is, well, let's just say it's not exactly subtle in its message.
No, not at all. It's unapologetically Chappell Roan, and it resonated. It makes you think, maybe you don't have to choose. Maybe you can have mainstream success without compromising who you are.
It's a good thought. And it's more than just the charts, right? This Forbes article about the VMAs, it really got me thinking. Winning Best New Artist, that's huge for any artist.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the industry's saying, we see you, you've arrived.
Exactly. But it's what she does with that moment, with that platform, dedicating the award to her fans in the LGBTQ community, to drag queens specifically. That's a statement.
For sure. It would have been so easy to just, give a generic acceptance speech, thank your team, all that. But she uses that moment to shine a light on something bigger than herself.
It's really powerful. And it makes you think about what success really means, Is it about the awards, the recognition, or is it about using your voice to lift others up, to champion something you believe in?
Right, because for Chappell Roan, it doesn't seem like it's ever been about playing the game, It's about staying true to who she is, even when that meant struggling, even when it meant getting dropped by a label. And now, look at her, she's winning awards, topping the charts, all while being unapologetically herself.
It's pretty inspiring, honestly. Like, no matter what your passion is, whatever your journey is, it's okay to be yourself, to embrace what makes you different. In fact, it might just be your biggest strength.
I love that. And I think it really speaks to what we were talking about earlier, this idea that maybe, just maybe, the music industry is shifting. That maybe there's space for more artists like Chappell Roan, artists who are making their own rules, defining their own success.
And wouldn't that be something? All right, everyone, that wraps up our deep dive into the incredible Chappell Roan. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive.